Jimmy the Bag, you want to start the show or should I start it? This is the Loshak in the Bag show. I know that I have a little bit of a unique appearance.
Jimmy the Bag, you want to start the show or should I start it? This is the
What the hell's going on? It's war in here.
What is it? That I have a little bit of a unique appearance.
Are you hearing an echo?
Start the show or should I am.
What the fuck is going on here? This is not planned.
I have a little bit of a unique.
Hey,
are you hearing an echo?
tech guy, fix this shit. What the fuck is going on here? This is not planned.
Jimmy, I think you might be playing it through your computer too. Check your tabs real fast.
Wow, that was pretty psychedelic.
Jimmy, I think you might be playing it through your computer too. Check your tabs real fast.
Wow, that was pretty psychedelic. Oh shit, you're right. Oh, that was me. I apologize. Okay, is it gone now?
Yeah, we're back to normal.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I put up the live show because I wanted to see the comments in there. But all right. Anyway. All right. Everything is what a fucking train wreck. I don't know. Is this a terrible? I was embarrassed a little bit about my overall picks last week. You know, they weren't terrible, but they weren't winning. Jimmy the Bag. So I feel like to make myself focus and take the shit a little more seriously. It's War in the Desert. This is the War in the Desert outfit, right, Jimmy the Bag?
It's a War in the Desert outfit.
I was making Jimmy laugh, backstage before we went live. This is the Loshak in the Bag show. Jimmy the Bag. It's July 6th, 2021. Yeah, my picks last week, not terrible, but not positive. I don't follow your picks, day to day. Jimmy the Bag, how are you doing? You still in double digits positive units right now?
Yes, very, very much so. But it was a roller coaster ride last week. Tuesday with you, I went 7-5, plus 1.45 units. The initial bets I'd made were great. I had 9 bets that I made before the show. I went 6-3 in those. I went 1-2 in my edition, so I ended up 7-5 plus 1.45 units. But Wednesday, Pete, was the second worst day of the season for me. 1 win, 6 losses, minus 6.06 losses. I was in the dumps. Thursday, I came back, didn't really fix it. 2-2 down 0.35 units. But Friday, I swept the board 4-0 plus 4 units. Overall on the week is 14 wins, 13 losses, down 0.96 units. So everything's fine. We're 191 wins, 155 losses, plus 15.99 units, hitting at 55.2%. ROI plus 4.62%, average line minus 112. And interestingly enough, on that Friday show, those were 4 bets I made before the show. I decided to add nothing. That was only the second show all year that I've added nothing, and it worked. It worked very, very well. And I took what the Bet365 wasn't giving us first 5s minus a half. So with Phillies and Reds, we took first 7s. And the Reds would have actually lost that first 5, but they cashed the first 7. So it all worked together, but...
Very, very nice. Wow, that was a very disorienting start to the show. But Jimmy the Bag, that's great. So things are going well with you. And, the interesting thing about sports betting in general is, if you do the math and you say, let's say I know for a fact that I have a 54% edge on minus 110 lines. And, you run like a random results, program or something, and you look at what your results would be over 200 picks, you will see that even with a legitimate modest edge, you will have, a lot of, periods where you're just breaking even, some troubling periods where you're stacking losses in a row. Of course, some nice periods where you're, 8-3 and thinking that, you can't lose. But it's always good to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? When you're having a mediocre week or a down week, think about whether or not it's, there are plays that you would take over again, that you would do over again. If it's just, variance and just the way that the numbers worked, or if you actually made some mistakes and want to fix what you're doing. But for everything I can see, Jimmy the Bag, it's very impressive what you've been doing this year in MLB and continue to be doing.
Yeah, so far so good. But that very first year we were together, I went on a run before the All-Star break to get it about even, and then I got absolutely destroyed in the second half of the year, destroyed beyond comprehension. So at this point of the year, we're on the right path.
Yeah.
It's just such a marathon, and I can't get to...
It also, but you also want to keep in mind that, sometimes there are fundamental, things that are going on. And, in my, experience a long time ago, I started to realize very early on that I was much better at baseball in the second half of the year than in the first half. And it wasn't just because that's the way the coins wound up flipping a few years in a row. I did have, a legitimate edge in the second half of the year and a more questionable edge in the first half. So I always want to keep those things in mind as well, Jimmy the Bag. Anyway, the point is that I'm dressed for war in the desert. Is this culturally insensitive or offensive in any way, Jimmy the Bag?
It might be. It might be.
If you have here, I could put that on.
No, you got to keep it going.
It's war in the desert. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry. Say what?
It's war in the desert.
It is. Renee says you're looking like number 3, 8, and 12 on the ISIS organizational chart.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's how I feel against these friggin' lines. You know what I mean? No friends, no ethics, no morality, no water, just war and betting lines. That's all it is.
Nasty Nate looks like you're directing traffic in the woods.
Okay. Oh, we don't want 2 hours of this now. So we've done this before. It was fun, but ultimately,
Okay, we can move on. But why don't we move on after Nut Flush Allen, who says, "Good morning, boys and girls. Kristen and I are headed to Las Vegas this morning to celebrate 20 years of kick-ass marriage. This girl's an absolute lock, and I'm the luckiest goddamn guy." That's from my Nut Flush Allen.
There you go. That's it. There are no locks in sports betting, but in life, if you marry a partner with good character and you have true love, that is a lock. Congratulations to you, Nut Flush Allen, and your wife and your whole family.
We have a great group ready to rock. Matty Ice, star of the Taint Play of the Day. Von Polo, Paco Healy, Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Slats 45, Christopher Comentini, Nasty Nate, Professor Chris says, "Now you just look like some dude from NYC."
Who said that? That's funny. That's good. That was good. It's amazing, but just a hat can change a whole look. Anyway, my point is, it's an analogy. War in the desert. That's how I feel against these friggin' lines. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get right to work then, Pete. We are going to attack this MLB card. We have a 1-game postponed, so 14 MLB games for us to attack. And then Walter Trotter, a.k.a. Trot Wam, Wham Bam, will be joining us to break down Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And I pulled out a hat that I rarely pull out, the 2019 NBA champion Toronto Raptors hat. Feels like a long time ago. All right, let's get to work right now. 7 p.m. we start. Milwaukee Brewers 51-35, 25-17 on the road at the New York Mets 44-37, 25-11 at home at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Brett Anderson going up against Jacob deGrom. Brett Anderson, the lefty, is a tricky character to figure out on the bump. He's 2-5, 4.69 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, 48 innings, just 31 Ks, 15 walks, 7 home runs allowed. In his last start, he got destroyed. Only lasted an inning and a third, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 K, pulled in a 5-1 loss at Arizona. Going up against Mr. Cy himself, Jacob deGrom, 7-2, 0.95 ERA, 0.54 WHIP, 85 innings, 136 Ks, 11 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 0 walks, 14 Ks, and a 4-3 loss at the Braves. He allowed 3 runs in the first inning and then went the next 6 without getting touched. We had a bunch of guys, Bubba, one of our OG low baggers, who was on the Braves team total over that cashed in the first inning, but he righted the ship and had 14 strikeouts. Sharpie was on the strikeouts over. It was at 9.5, and he cashed it comfortably. The Brewers don't hit righties, 221, 685 OPS. The Mets don't hit lefties, 234, 694 OPS. And Brewers and Mets bullpen both strong. Brewers bullpen climbing so fast, 3.82 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. Mets bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. Pete, Brewers, Mets, any feel on the spot?
All right, sorry. I'm just looking at the reason we had those tech issues in the beginning of the show was because I wanted to read the comments as they're coming in, which I wasn't doing in the past few shows. I feel bad that I was maybe people thought that I wasn't paying attention to them or something like that, which is not true. But the comments are great. We don't have really time to respond to all of them. This one is deGrom. If the Mets weren't such a questionable offensive team, I'd feel more comfortable taking deGrom at minus 250 at first 5 innings at whatever. But if deGrom gives up 1 or 2 runs, and you've got some minus 270 first 5 innings line, all of a sudden, the shelling is starting in your mind about, what maybe you shouldn't have done that. No bet on this one for me as of right now. I don't think I'll have a bet by first pitch. It's possible I will. Always considering the opposing team total under with DeGrom starting, just as I was every single start with Cole last year. But no bet as of right now for me.
The total's gone up a full run from 6 to 7. There's been a 2-cent move to the Mets from minus 245 to minus 247. The Brewers actually get to DeGrom. 309 average, 749 OPS. Christian Yelich, 15 for 34 with 2 doubles. So they're actually able to get to him. The Mets against Brett Anderson, 273, 698 OPS. I realized that I didn't read out the weather for that first game, which is something I do with each game. It is 89 Fahrenheit at first pitch, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left center, goes down to 5 miles per hour by the end of the game. Let's see where the cash is on this spot. I've made 2 bets so far, just 2 bets before this day started, and this is not one of them. We have 60% of the tickets and 56% of the cash on the Mets. That's smaller than one would imagine in a DeGrom start. And then 29% of the tickets on the under and 71% of the cash. A little confusing there because the total has gone from 6 to 7. Professor Chris says Brewers plus 1.5 at minus 104 ain't shabby. Mally Mal says sounds like an easy Brewers first 5 play. Professor Chris says Brewers will be in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to take Milwaukee first 5 team total under 1.5 at minus 185, obviously I wouldn't make a strong argument against that. But no bet for me, and it's just the market is pricing DeGrom pretty accurately according to my numbers right now. And it's tough to know what to expect from Anderson here. Pass for me.
A pass for me as well. DC says under 7-1 in Anderson's last 8 starts following an outing of less than 4 innings in his last appearance. Dave Berkey says, I'm covered in sticky stuff head to toe right now. Let's get it. There is a sticky stuff ban in the MLB right now. And Rachel Nichols also in the house. Also, Skylar Allen says, good morning, Pete and Jimmy. It's Skylar. Skylar, we love you.
Skylar Allen, yeah. It's just I wanted to look. I realized I was missing so many comments that I wanted to address last time, but it's kind of hard to address the comments and pay attention to the show at the same time. So shout out to you, Skylar Allen. I was only seeing the comments that were put up on the screen.
Corey Max says too much value on Brewers. No play for me though. I agree with this sentiment. There's a Speak Your Mind sports talk in the house. Great to see you, Speak Your Mind. Exceptional boxing handicapper right there. Speak Your Mind sports talk. Okay, so yeah, I agree. No move for me to get this day started in Brew Crew, New York Mets. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 41-43, 17-21 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates, 31-53, 18-24 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 88 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, humid, 7 miles per hour out to left center. Ian Anderson going up against Chad Kuhl. Anderson, 5-4, 3.35 ERA, 1.14 whip, 88 2/3, 90 Ks, 31 walks, 8 home runs. He was the winning pitcher in that start against DeGrom 5 days ago. Chad Kuhl last out, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 6-2 loss at the Rockies. He's not had a good year. K to walk ratio poor at 35-28, but I like him at times at home. Braves are hitting 235, 742 OPS versus righties. Pirates 229, 656 OPS, the worst in the business. The Braves bullpen 4.72 ERA, 1.43 whip have converted 18-31. The Pirates bullpen 4.01 ERA, 1.29 whip have converted 12 of 16, just 16 save opportunities for them. The market opened with the Braves at minus 170. There's been an 11-cent move towards them at Pinnacle, and this total has gone from 8.5 to 9. Any angle on this spot? Pistol Pete Loshak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely leaning Atlanta here. I didn't bet it because of the huge line, but I'm definitely leaning Atlanta here. Anderson, kind of up and down. This was, I think, my numbers say is more likely to be a decent start from him than not. And Kuhl is decent as well, but my numbers are very down on Pittsburgh offensively. So last night notwithstanding, my numbers are very, very down on Pittsburgh. So my numbers, I can understand why the market moved in Atlanta's direction because my numbers actually have Atlanta as like a minus 200 favorite. So I would have a lean to Atlanta even at these lines. My gut says it just makes me nervous. It makes me very, very nervous betting against Pittsburgh when they're a huge home underdog. It's kind of a very, hitter unfriendly park. And, early in my career, I was burned a lot of times betting against the Pirates at home as a big underdog. And then a little bit later, had a bunch of nice wins betting on Pittsburgh at home as a big underdog, when on paper it looked like that might not be a wise thing to do. My numbers like Atlanta here. I didn't bet it yet. My numbers also indicate that Anderson should have a decent start here, and no opinion on the total as of right now.
Lean over for Viper NB. And by the way, after the notice from Mike Allen and Kristen Allen that going to Vegas celebrate their anniversary, Skylar Allen says, "Hey Jimmy, my mom and dad are going to Vegas. Party at my house tonight." So Skylar knows what's up.
This guy's always looking for opportunities. Hell yeah, exactly.
DC says Pirates are 0-6 in Cool's last 6 starts after scoring 5 runs or more in their previous game.
Yeah, my numbers like Atlanta even at the current line. What can I tell you?
And that's what Corey Mack saying the same thing. He says exactly, Pete, Atlanta's a play, but it's too damn high.
Well, according to my numbers, even where it is right now, there's a little bit of value. So that's an official lean. I don't know if I can make it an official pick or a bet, and I would definitely take it on the -1 or 1.5 line as well. So Atlanta -1 is a lean. Maybe I'll give it as a pick in a few minutes.
And Braves are 4-0 in their last 4 games following a loss. That comes to us from DC as well. Why don't we take a look at where the cash is in this spot here? We have 2,862 tickets in. 65% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on Atlanta. We've seen an 11-cent move towards them on Pinnacle. And here is with the move from 8.5 to 9, we see 10% of the tickets on the over. 37% of the tickets on the over and 10% of the cash on the over.
All
That's
right.
very strange.
I'll make it an official play. I'm not going to sit here in a friggin' army jacket being all indecisive and weenied out. I'll make Atlanta -1 an official play, and I will bet that one after the show. Again, my numbers like it. So, I'm not going against my numbers. I'm really only going against my gut.
And just out of curiosity for me, why would you not want to keep the bullpens out of it? Is it because you want 9 innings of the Braves offense?
Well, my numbers, yes, that's exactly right, Jimmy the Bag. That's exactly right. There you go. My numbers say that. The starting pitchers are both looking relatively positive according to my numbers. It's the offenses outweigh the bullpens, according to my numbers. So I'll make this one an official play. I'll use the Pinnacle numbers, -181 on the money line and -112 on the -1.5 line. So there you go. Atlanta -1 official play.
All right. Loshak is on the board with the Braves on the -1 line. And Matty Ice says Braves first 5 -0.5 is on his card. I'd be curious to see what that would cost me. And then we will move on here. At Bet365 right now, here it is. -0.5 is -145, so still steep. Okay, let's move on to.
Yeah, the reason I don't like that is because my numbers are also kind of high on Cool in this spot. So I don't really want to bet against it here.
Yeah, I'm interested in Cool at home. Okay, we have Jays, Orioles, and there is no line. We don't know who is pitching for the Orioles, so we're not going to spend much time on this spot, obviously. But I'll tell you what, it's 89 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, humid, 10 miles per hour out to right. I do not trust Steven Matz. He was just raked by a team that doesn't hit lefties in the Mariners. He went 2 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 3K, 0 walks. The Orioles hit 273, 767 OPS versus lefties. So I'm going to be very curious to see who they throw out on the mound, not because I want the Orioles, but because I will want overs in this spot. So no need to dive into it any more than that. Pete, do you have any notes on Mats or anything to do with this spot?
No, not really. I was just looking at all the comments and wanting to give like 20 shout-outs. Huge shout-out to all of you guys. This is for, war in the desert against these lines. No, I don't like the spot for Baltimore here. We'll see what what the lines are. Obviously, if it's minus 250 or whatever, who the hell knows what the books will hang. But without knowing what the lines are and who's starting for Baltimore, thinking about Toronto team total overs and Toronto minus 1 or 1.5.
Oh, and Spencer Watkins is the starting pitcher for Baltimore. This just in. Spencer Watkins. Why don't we just jump over to Baseball Reference right now? And Spencer Watkins, 28-year-old Spencer Watkins, was a 30th round pick out of Western Oregon University.
My God, Toronto minus 1. Oh my God. Wait, what? Who?
Not a highly thought of pitcher here. And this year so far, in his career, he's got 1 inning under his belt.
Oh my God.
1 inning under his belt. He's faced 3 batters in the major leagues and got them all out. Let's just take a quick look at his minors here. He was in the Detroit Tigers system up until this year and couldn't get into the majors in the Detroit Tigers system. This year in AAA, he's been pretty good. He's 1-2 with a 3.58 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. In 32 2/3, he has 27 strikeouts but 11 walks. So,
all right.
And
yeah,
RotoWire has Dean Kramer, so we'll keep an eye on that. Mark Unkefer, great to see you. And Matty Ice says, if you can't make it in the Tiger system, what does that tell you? We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Dodgers, 53-32, 25-19 on the road at Miami Marlins, 36-47, 19-18 at home. We're at loanDepot Park in Miami, Florida. I expect the roof to be closed. Tony Gonsolin, 1-0, 2.81 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, 16 innings, 22 Ks, 13 walks, 1 home run. His last start, he just went 3 innings at the Nationals, 2 hits, 1 earned run, walked 3, struck out 4. It was a 5-1 win. Pablo Lopez, 4-5, 2.97 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 91 innings, 94 Ks, 22 walks, 9 home runs, and he's very good at home. In his last start, he hit Acuna Jr. and was bounced. And I've been talking highly about the Marlins bullpen all year, and they came in and that runner that got on scored, but no one else did. Unfortunately, it was a 1-0 loss at the Braves. Dodgers hit righties hard, 247, 767 OPS, and they hit Lopez hard because this was a spot where I thought, man, I wonder if we want to go under. I wonder if Lopez at home, angry and fresh after not pitching, will be a good look. But against Lopez, they're hitting 400 with a 971 OPS. Very small sample size, 6 for 15. 6 for just 15. Pete Loshak, Dodgers, Marlins, any feel here?
Yeah, I mean, my number is kind of like the under a little bit. And if I was one of those guys who gave picks on lines that don't really ever exist and never really did, I would give like first 5 under 4.5 or something like that. But it's, it's just 4, which my numbers say that, to pass on. If 4.5 minus 115 appeared anywhere, my numbers would say that first 5 under is a play. My numbers like Lopez and Gonsolin here as far as what to expect from them. So it's a lean to the under. And there you go. Shout out to Sean Higgs, who I saw on Twitter nailed Miami outright as a dog last night. That was an excellent call. Yeah, Miami, similar to Pittsburgh, tends to be a little bit undervalued as a home dog. When on paper it looks like they really are outclassed. This line isn't quite big enough, but yeah, my numbers would have a lean to the full game under at 7.5 if that's still available.
It's gone up to 8.
It's gone up to 8. All right. Well, my numbers are now scratching at their heads and, not really feeling confident in what they're telling me. But yeah, my numbers indicate that under is it's now at 8. Yeah, my numbers would indicate that that's a play. So I'll say that's a lean, not an official play though, not an official bet.
Let's dive a little bit deeper here and try to get a feel on why it's gone from 7.5 to 8. Gonsolin Dodgers opened up at minus 118. They're now at minus 126. Minus 126. DC saying under 7-1-1 in Dodgers' last 9 games. First a right-handed starter, and that the Dodgers are 5-0 in Gonsolin's last 5 starts. Great stuff, DC. Thank you for your help. Both bullpens strong. Dodgers 3.41 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Converted 29 to 45. Marlins bullpen 3.54 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. And then
All right,
we have
I'll make that an official play. I'm sitting here in Army fatigues, wearing an Army jacket, making jokes about war in the desert. My numbers like the under. Obviously, in today's the MLB situation in July 2021, you can have an under that's looking great into the seventh inning, and then all of a sudden a team explodes for 6, and you're like, what the fuck happened? But my numbers like it. I'll make an official play now that it's 8 minus 110. I see 110s around the market. I'll make that an official play. Miami under 8 minus 110.
62% of the tickets on the under, 98% of the cash on the under. Now that's just 2,648 tickets in. Then with the money line here, 86% of the tickets on the Dodgers, 75% of the cash. Johnny K, so you're in good company if Johnny K likes it. There's Leonard Porch Jr. in the house with us. Brian Pacone ready to eat. So we have Pete locking in another spot here. The under, Pete, under 8 at minus 110.
Viper, yeah. Viper NB47 says the total has gone over in 5 of Miami's last 6 games when playing at home against the Dodgers. Now, I don't know what those lines are, but I'm assuming that's because, the numbers, I don't know whether they went over by, 5 runs or by 1 or a half run, but you get very low totals in when Miami's at home, and the Dodgers, usually bring a powerful lineup. So it can be very treacherous and sort of illusory to see value, in an under with a low total at home with Miami when they're facing a strong lineup. But, with the starting pitchers involved here, and as you said, Jimmy the Bag, the bullpens, my numbers do like the under, so I made it an official play. I just wanted to acknowledge that comment from someone that I just saw.
I love it. There you have it. Now we move on to my first official play. It was juicy, but I did pay the cost to fade Jose Urena. I'm on the Rangers first 5 minus a half at minus 135. As you guys know, I have to wait till 9:30 a.m. day of to attack first 5s because of the situation I put myself in. Tigers are 39-46, 18-24 on the road at the Rangers, 33-52, 20-22 at home. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. I expect the roof to be closed. Jose Urena, 2-8, 6.22 ERA, 1.66 WHIP, 72 and a third, 47 Ks, 33 walks, 11 home runs. His last start, he allowed 4 solo shots, 3 and a third, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks in the 9-4 win in a 7-inning doubleheader at Cleveland. Dane Dunning has been tricky, and we've been talking nonstop about the very interesting market situations that present themselves in Rangers Oakland A's games. And in his last start, an 8-3 win at Oakland, the market completely got me off the Oakland A's, whom I thought were in a much better situation. I believe Bassett was on the mound against Dunning, and an 8-3. He only goes 4 innings, but doesn't allow a run. He's been looking good at home. He's been looking much better as the season's gone on. 3-6, 4.38 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. So this isn't just fading Urena. This is that Dunning had to face the Oakland A's in back-to-back starts, and I was impressed enough with his ability to do that. The Tigers hit 238, 702 OPS versus righties. Rangers 227, 677 OPS versus righties. The Tigers bullpen is bad, and the Rangers bullpen is bad, but not as bad. I've still decided to just focus on the first 5 rather than go full game because I do like this Tigers offense better than the Rangers offense. Pete, that is my move. Let me just give you the full game market here for you in this spot. Dunning and the Rangers opened up at minus 162. They're now minus 171, so a 9-cent move towards them at Pinnacle. And it was originally juiced to the over 9.5. It's now juiced to the originally juiced to the over 9 at minus 115. Now it's the under 9 at minus 109. What do you think of this spot, and what do you think of my look?
So what did you take? You took Texas first 5?
Minus a half, minus 135.
I mean, I definitely think if you're going to take it, you should take minus a half, or maybe if you have Pinnacle or something like that, minus 1, because I think there's a lot of volatility with Urena. This one, it makes me a little bit nervous. Urena obviously, was dealing with an injury which contributed to a lot of his struggles, and he's not that bad, like overall. You know what I mean? I mean, it reminds me of like when I have a week where I give 25 picks and they go 8 and 17. It's like, yeah, it's terrible, but I'm not that bad. I'm going to be a little bit better. And Urena, his last start, the strikeouts started to come. He gave up 4 home runs, obviously, which is terrible. My note on this game is that I wanted to, dig into Urena a little bit more to see what's up with him. and to look at some of his more in-depth indicators, because he got crushed again, but he got strikeouts. He didn't walk anyone, and he gave up one, but his control was okay. So that might be a sign that slightly worse things might be around the corner. In which case, it's very treacherous to start betting huge favorite lines against him. I'm not disagreeing with your bet necessarily. I'm just pointing out what I'm thinking. It's a pass for me, and I wanted to do more research to see to try to get a better sense of what's going on with Urena right now.
Well, the money's on the Tigers. 67% of the money line tickets on the Tigers. 63% of the cash is on the Tigers. With the total, 52% of the tickets on the over, 75% of the cash on the over, and it's moved towards the under. Very interesting here. Very interesting to see the tickets and the cash on the Tigers, but the Rangers moving 11 cents at Pinnacle. Viper MB says automatic over here. Piker says Urena hasn't looked bad the last two. The market has moved towards the Tigers. I don't have the market moving there. I have an 11-cent move at Pinnacle to Texas. But
Mally says neither team should be favored. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, no, I get that as well. DMAC Sanjmani says this game over 9.
It's just all about what's going on with Urena as far as I'm concerned. Obviously he was an auto fade for me for good reason for a bunch of starts in a row. But again, his last start maybe an indication that something's turning around for him in some way. It's not a definite indication, because all you have to be is a little bit off in the major leagues to get crushed. So if you're a guy like Urena who's had some kind of injury and now you're 90% back, you're probably going to get crushed again. You really got to be 100%, or if you're Clayton Kershaw, maybe 99%. But I have reason to be nervous about taking a big favorite line betting against him right now.
Interesting. Well, he did just put the W up. He didn't get the win at Cleveland, and he'd always pitched well at Cleveland and against Cleveland, and he didn't pitch well, but he pitched good enough to get them to the finish line. CT Bay says Tigers offense looking good and Urena is bad. Over. And Life of On Polo says there's so many opportunities on the board today. Why waste money on Texas? Because I feel like I have an angle and an advantage, but I hear you. All right. Let's get to work. We have a quick question coming in from Rocky Meniketti, who we've had the pleasure of hanging out with. He says, how many years have you been capping?
Well, I actually started when I was in high school, not just on paper, just handicapping and just on paper. But I started doing it in a serious way when I was wandering around Times Square right around like 2002 or whatever it was, and I saw a big ad for Bet on Sports in Times Square, and I was like, they're advertising this shit in Times Square? Maybe I should look into it. So the advertising got me, and ever since then I've been doing it pretty much full time. So what would that be? 20 years almost?
20 years in the game.
Yeah.
For the legend, Loshak. We move on to my second spot on the card. And
Shout
I was
out
staring
to
at
Rocky
this.
Meniketti. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
All good, my man. I was staring at this for a long time, and I could have got Phillies at minus 130. It was the worst number on the board. There was minus 116s and minus 120s. My book was hanging to minus 130. I knew the market would move towards the Phillies because of what the Cubs have been doing of late. Again, I'm not talking about any game other than the game going on. Each game is its own individual entity, and that's been working for me. So I'm not going to talk about what's gone on because the Cubs have been losing a lot. But I did not want the full game, minus 130. Another thing was that my book was not offering the run line up, so I couldn't take it on a minus one if I wanted to cut the juice down. Then it got to minus 140. It got to minus 145 this morning. Then when they put the run line up, it dropped to minus 135. So it was minus 135 and then minus 120 on the minus 1.5. And I was like, plus 120 on the minus 1.5. So I was like, okay, well, then I'm cutting the juice down. But I was still that afraid of the Phillies bullpen. So I waited and got the first 5 minus a half at minus 120. The first 7 minus a half was also available minus 120. Aaron Nola coming off a bad start, and it cost me money. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed, 0 walks, 11 Ks, and 11-6 loss at home versus the Marlins. But this is a fate of Jake Arrieta. I don't know how he still has a spot in the rotation. He got absolutely destroyed in his last start. He got staked to a 7-1 lead, and he couldn't hold it. He only lasted an inning and 2/3, allowed 6 runs. Now just 3 were earned. Both teams don't hit righties. Phillies just 222, 678 OPS. Cubs 215, 686 OPS. But I don't want anything to do with the Phillies bullpen. And I'm not willing to pay juice on the Phillies bullpen. And so just focused on the Phillies first 5 -1/2 -120 for me, Pete. Not its double up situation either. What do you think about this spot, Phillies Cubs?
Yeah, well, I basically agree with everything you said. The Arrieta situation is a little bit similar to Urena. Not that he's giving indications that he's going to be better, but he is obviously a legit veteran whom you have to respect tremendously. And so I wanted to do a little bit more research to try to figure out why exactly he sucks so bad right now and this year. But I have enough information based on my numbers that I did take shots with the Phillies first 5 team total over, and I took the Phillies first 5 money line at -160. So I agree with both of those. So those definitely both count as leans right now. Maybe I'll make them official plays. And yeah, Nola is we need a good start from him. He's the kind of guy who I don't mind betting a big favorite line on a first 5 inning line on the road, which is sort of a high praise that you give to a starting pitcher, but Nola counts. And yeah, my numbers say that Philly first 5 and the first 5 team total over have some value.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. 84 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 10 miles per hour out to right center. We know how that helps offense at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. It's hard to trust the Phillies as this big of a favorite full game. They're 16-26 on the road. Their bullpen 4.84 ERA, 1.41 WHIP. It's just very, very hard to trust that. Let's take a look at the baseball data here. And against Nola, they're hitting .258, but with an .859 OPS. So Rizzo is 5 for 12 with 2 homers. Bryant 3 for 10 with a homer. Baez 2 for 11 with a homer and a double. That gave me some pause. And against Arrieta, 237, 730 OPS against these Phillies. A slight pause, but not enough. But I kind of put a line through that saying that's not this year's Jake Arrieta. So I was not too concerned. Let's see where the market has gone and where the cash has gone very quickly here with the Cubbies. The Marlins.
Can I make one comment here?
Yeah.
Poker Addicted 79 says Nola just gave up 7 to the Marlins, don't hit anyone, and sports a 5.32 ERA on the road. That is an excellent comment. But he also struck out a lot of guys, didn't walk anyone. His peripherals for that game are looking okay. I have statistical peripherals and then deep peripherals. I didn't look at deep peripherals yet, but the statistical peripherals are looking okay for Nola, and indicating that it's just a bit of a glitch. Look, he's not he's a guy who is going to get hit kind of hard, maybe a third of the time. And, my numbers take that into account, and my gut takes that into account as well. Nola is, has great stuff overall, but if you just look back at his, his game log, obviously here and there, especially in non-promising situations, which this one kind of is, he tends to get hit. But my numbers like Philly anyway because his peripherals are good. My numbers don't like Arrieta at all, and so that's why I made modest-sized bets on the first 5 team total over for Philly and the money line.
I like it. I like both of the spots you're on. I'm not going to double up here. With Nola, it's all about his changeup. His changeup has been so devastating in his career. It just feels like teams are waiting on it. They're waiting on it. 2 starts back, he went up against Taijuan Walker as a dog on the road, and I was like, look, I don't care what the numbers are saying. Nola is a better pitcher than Taijuan Walker, and I'm going to take this dog price with the Phillies. And he struck out 10 straight, and the first 5 cashed and tied Seaver's record from 50 years ago. I think Nola still has a big upside, and the more people that get caught up on the 4.44 ERA and not, the whip and the 118 Ks to 22 walks, I think we'll get good lines when he's pitching. And there's been a 24-cent market move towards him at Pinnacle. So I'm comfortable here. Let's take a look at where the cash is, and then we will move on from this. My numbers also like a little bit, I can't endorse this as a play, but Philly to score first at anything better than -200. So that's just what they like. Oh, yeah. No, that was that makes a ton of sense as well. All right, we have the Taint play of the day is in. I repeat, the Taint play of the day is in. It is Astros first 5 minus a half. We will break down this look more when we get to that spot. We are 3 games away from that one on the board, but the Taint play of the day is in. We move to 8. Oh, and speaking of which, the Dirty K prop is in as well. Nola over 6.5 up to minus 160 says, yes, it's juiced. But I love this line. Nola's 3-0 to the number when facing a team with a 27% K rate the last 6, and now gets the Cubs, who are striking out at an astronomical amount, 38% the last 15. So the Dirty K prop in right now. The Dirty K prop in right now. All right, we move on. The Dirty K prop in, and we roll on. Okay, so we hit a very interesting spot here, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago White Sox at Minnesota Twins. 2 pitchers who just faced the opposition last start. And Vitalis, who I don't believe is in the chat right now, is very big.
Jim, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Again, I'm wearing these fatigues and stuff. I'll make Philly first 5 team total over 2.5 an official play. I can't not do that. If I don't, it would be nothing but mostly fear-based. I mean, I could be like, I should do a little bit more research. I should figure out how truly confident I am. But, it's mostly based on fear, which you never want to be governed by. So there you go. Philly, at the very least, first 5 team total over 2.5. I'll quote a line right now. But sorry, I didn't mean to get out of order there. I'm seeing minus 125 at one place and minus 133. All right, so I'll take minus 125. Philly, first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 125. If that loses, I'll be fine with losing 1.25 units for betting a first 5 team total over with Arrieta.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. Nilo in the house. Very quick question for you, Pete, from Jim from softball. Says, do y'all recognize reality outside of this or just this one?
Do y'all recognize reality outside of this or just this one? Yeah. That's an incredibly deep question. I would say, me personally, both. But I can't speak for anyone else.
Okay, both. There you go, Jim the softball. Both.
At the same time. It seems counterintuitive. It seems like an oxymoron, but if you really meditate on it for a little while, you
Chicago
realize. White
Sox 49-35, 18-21 on the road. At Minnesota Twins 35-48, 18-23 at home. Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota 65 Fahrenheit, light rain, 11 miles per hour, sideways in. What I was saying before the Taint and Dirty K prop came out was that the White Sox first 5 is a very successful bet this year when Grandal is behind the plate. And Vitalis has given us those statistics. He was removed from last night's game with a strained left calf. So you can easily believe that Grandal will not be in the lineup. But for the Twins, Donaldson was not in the lineup Monday with a hamstring injury. And Nelson Cruz visited a doctor Monday to check out a persisting cough that was responsible for his neck injury. So Cruz, Donaldson, Grandal all may not be in the lineup. Professor Chris says, I already bet White Sox first 5. Chris Smith says, White Sox not good on the road, but Rodon is the guy. Okay, so let's break this down a little more here. Rodon and Berrios, 2 highly thought of pitchers going up with their second consecutive performance against the opposition in Rodon's last start, who's had a great year. 2.37 ERA, 0.94 whip on the year. He's went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks, and an 8-5 win at home against Berrios, who went 5 innings, allowed 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, and an 8-5 loss. I always find it very difficult when the pitchers go up against the opponent the second straight opportunity. And let's see what the market is and what Pete has to say about it. This total has gone from 9 to 8. Wow. Yeah. Down a full run, and Rodon's gone from minus 109 to minus 120, and 11-cent move towards him. Take it away, Pete.
Well, my numbers had a lean to the under on this one and the first half under, but there's also a lot of uncertainty according to my numbers, and regular viewers of my videos know that the certainty number is much more important than the actual edge that my numbers imply. So there's a lot of uncertainty here, and with rain, I think this game is probably going to get canceled. If not, it will. It's very likely to have delays and stuff. It's just a pass for me. I didn't bet it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to simplify things.
No, go ahead.
Much, but when two pitchers face the opposition again, and they're very highly thought of pitchers, and they both get hit, usually they come up with a better game plan for the second attempt, and usually are better. And I find that you can take that both ways. When two pitchers have a great start against an opposition, you think that and they see the same team 5 days later, you think that the team batting can set up a better game plan against that pitcher. Maybe the market move is simply because of Grandal, Cruz, and Donaldson out of the lineup. But let's take a look at the cash here in this spot. White Sox Twins. We have 80% of the tickets on the White Sox, 94% of the cash on the White Sox, and then 59% of the tickets on the under and just 12% of the cash on the under. So very, very interesting. And there is Noli Nose in the house. Great to see
Noli
you.
Nose.
Noli. Okay, we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. The Cincinnati Reds at Kansas City Royals. And your man and mine, Jose, our Venezuelan prince, is making moves on Reds Royals. And I find this game extremely interesting and was close to making moves on it as well, but I have not. Castillo versus Bubic. So please, without further ado, let's get excited for Jose's Say Hey play of the day. Jose, how are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing well. I'd like to wish you a happy belated Venezuelan Independence Day.
Thank you.
That was yesterday.
Thank you.
So of course, I'm sure you guys celebrated that well. I didn't do anything, and I also I've been on a cold streak as of late. I'd like to tell you guys this. I don't know if you guys have known this. So I've punished myself now. I've given myself a week suspension, aka a week with this lovely mustache that I now have.
I don't think you can ever let go of that stash. I think it's become a part of you, and it looks fantastic. You picked a very interesting spot to attack. Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, 87 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour out to left. Castillo has been better of late, but he is 3-10 on the season, 5.08 ERA, 1.46 whip, 86 Ks in 90 and a third. In his last start, he allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs over 6 and a third. Quality start, 3 wins, 6 Ks and a 5-4 win at home. Versus the Padres, Chris Bubic is somebody whom I like. He just got destroyed at the Red Sox. 5 earned runs, 3 home runs in 4 innings. But the Reds don't hit lefties, 221, 673 OPS. The Royals are hitting 242, 691 OPS versus righties. My first thought was maybe I should move on this first 5 under, but I wanted to talk it out and hear what everybody else is doing on this game. What are you doing? What's your move here, Jose?
Well, I've always been more of an ass guy than a boob guy. So I'm on Luis Castillo. I'm not a Bubic guy. I can't get into him. I've not been impressed by him, Jimmy. Honestly, if you go to his Baseball Savant page, all you see is blue. He's in the lower percentiles for all of his spins and all that. But in a day that spin rates might be down, that might be a good thing. But average exit velo, he's in the 22nd percentile. Max exit velo 28th, 10th in hard hit. So he has not had a great year this year. I think the Royals offense is plenty good enough to get some runs in early. Right now, I'm on Royals first 5 minus 1.5, or sorry, minus a half and it's minus 113. I apologize. But so Reds first 5 minus a half, minus 113. There we go.
Reds first 5 minus a half, backing Castillo here. Pete, what is your take on this Royals-Reds spot?
Yeah, my numbers hate Bubic. That's just what they say. My numbers are not always right, but they hate Bubic a lot here. And Castillo, the numbers like him for this spot. It makes me nervous, but the numbers I have like them for this spot. My numbers would agree with Jose here. Value on Cincinnati first 5, but again, these big favorite first 5 inning money lines on the road are, can be very, very treacherous, and numbers can be misleading with them. But the line has gotten bet up. My numbers like Cincinnati at anything better than minus 195, and that's a lean. I don't know if I can make an official play, but as of right now, I definitely can't argue with Jose's play.
The Reds open up at minus 154. They're now sitting at minus 149, a 5-cent move towards the Royals. The total's gone from 10 to 9.5. From a first 5 perspective, we have, let's see, we'll go over the bookmaker, see if we can see the market moves here. We have the Reds opening up at minus 155, a 20-cent move towards the Reds, now at minus 175. So a big move on the Reds first 5 and a small move towards the Royals full game. Let's see what the market is offering, or where the cash is. We have 75% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Royals, but on the Reds, but a 5-cent move to the Royals. Then we have 66% of the tickets on the over and 57% of the cash on the over. I don't dislike Bubic as much as you guys do, but and I also think that his last start was a very difficult spot at Fenway. And this will be quite a bit easier for him. Mr. Gosher says, I like that Cincy first 5. Any final notes, Jose, on your action here?
The Royals have been one of the worst teams in baseball. They've been atrocious as of late. Luis Castillo, hot pitcher. I think he gets it done, and I hope that Jesse Winker, newly minted All-Star, gets a home run today for us.
Against Castillo, they're hitting .308 with an .887 OPS, 12 for 39, and they get the Bubic. These guys are 5 for 13. Winker 2 for 2 with a jack against them, .385, 1.231 OPS, and DC's on the first 5 over 5. I am going to stay off of this spot, but I still am just sitting at 2 bets here. Jose, you're streaky. I believe that mustache will give you good luck in your action, bad luck with pussy. I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. That's true. I've gotten a lot of looks. I've gotten a lot of looks, and it's tough, My name of Jose definitely fits me better now.
It does. It does.
Yeah, it does.
There he is. Jose, say hey, play of the day. Reds first 5 minus a half. And Jose, what was the juice associated with that?
Well, I had it at minus 113, but I just looked now at Pinnacle. It is up to minus 122 currently. So this is probably the juiciest play I've given out all year.
Well, you're still got a nice plus line on your action overall, so that won't hurt you. First 5 minus a half, minus 122 Reds. First 5. Thank you, Jose. We move on, and Pete is ready for war.
That Cincinnati game is it's a classic MLB handicapping situation. My numbers do say a little bit of value with Cincinnati, but it's my gut tells me that it makes me very nervous to bet. My numbers in general have often, been most wrong when it comes to first 5 inning, big favorite money lines on the road. So it's an interesting. It stresses me out. That's why I'm putting on my sand shield here. War in the desert. Let's go for the rest of this card.
Let's go. War in the desert. Next up, Oakland Athletics, 49-37, 22-15 away. At Houston Astros, 52-33, 26-16 at home. And it takes us to sweet TAINT. The Astros, first 5 minus a half at minus 110 is the TAINT play of the day. This is directly from Matty Ice. He says Bassett has an ERA over 7 and a whip over 1.40 at Minute Maid Park. He has not posted more than 4 Ks the last 2 years for Houston in 5 starts. The TAINT is the Astros first 5 minus a half, minus 1. All right, Pete, let's talk about this spot that TAINT is on. By the way, they did send me a new updated TAINT graphic, and there was a couple guys like with their eyes popped out, and I was like, "There's guys, cut it. We don't want it." Pete, Athletics Astros, take it away.
I'm just reading comments here. This is the Astros. Who's going to be in their lineup? This one, I know that there's uncertainty with their lineup, and a bunch of guys are probably going to be back here. I'm not going to give an opinion or make a bet on this play until I see what the actual lineups are. But obviously, Valdez is excellent. I've been kind of high on him, even through his struggles in the majors ever since he came up. The line isn't too high. I definitely initially would lean Houston here for sure. And my numbers also indicated that the under has a little bit of value, which my gut tells me to stay off of. But again, can't make any decision on this one until I see the lineup announcements, and initially leaning Houston full game for sure.
Initial Houston full game look. Right now, the first 5 total opened at 4.5 and has dropped to 4.
Yeah. Oh, so there's no 4. Yeah, there's no 4s anywhere. I mean, there's no 4.5s anymore.
No, there is. There Intertops has a 4.5. Heritage and Intertops is just a minus 115. Heritage at minus 125. UWager minus 125.
Yeah, at 4.5, my number's like the under a bit.
And then full game here in this spot, still sitting at 8.5. It was initially juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under. The Astros open up at minus 148. There's been a 3-cent move them to minus 151. Benjamin Mills is on that first 5 under 4 and says A's can't hit right now. A Bassett 9-2, 3.04 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, 106 2/3, 109 Ks, 27 walks, 9 home runs. I usually can get the information on Houston's roof by now, so maybe I'll look into it right now because usually I can get it. 81 Fahrenheit, humid, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour to center, but they've had the roof closed quite often of late. In Bassett's last start, he didn't allow an earned run, 7 innings, 3 hits in a 3-1 home win versus the Rangers. Framber Valdez, 5-1, 2.18 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 45 1/3, 41 Ks, 14 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, and 6 Ks in a 7-2 win at the Padres. The Astros hit righties very hard, 266, 788 OPS. They're 1 OPS point higher than the Jays for first in the league. The A's bullpen, 4.08 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Astros bullpen, 4.17 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. Both middling. Let's go to baseball data quickly here. Against Bassett, they're hitting 281 with a 747 OPS. And against Valdez, 207 with just a 483 OPS. They're 6 for 29 with 2 doubles. So 4 singles, 2 doubles among those 6 hits. There's astute chaos in the house. Mr. Gokes are also liking that under 4.5. He also liking no run first inning. And Matty Ice says no Kanya. Who hits Valdez?
Yeah. So again, I have to wait for the lineups, but lean Houston and lean first 5 under at 4.5 according to my numbers.
Yes, I think that it might be time for me to tail.
It's kind of frustrating because a lot of my, not all of them, but a lot of the bets that I feel most confident about, most comfortable with, come close to first pitch. And this is a classic game. I might be off it. I might, have a strong play on it. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it right now.
Very, very, very interesting. Let's just see where the cash is here. So 3,278 tickets in. 64% of the tickets on the Astros, 95% of the cash. 70% of the tickets on the over, 85% of the cash on the over. That's full game. And then I would just like to see what I would be offered. Astros first 5 minus a half. This is the first tough week I believe I've ever seen TAINT have coming off that. So I expect glory from TAINT. We have the Astros first 5 minus half minus 115. That's a pretty nice price. That is a pretty nice price. Piscotti probable. Alvarez on paternity leave. Von Polo, we love you. Is about to ghost and go off the grid. I will reach out and touch base with you. All right, there's Robert Cherry in the house as well, and Turnsy 66 in the house. I think I'm going to tail TAINT. Tail TAINT. Okay, we move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox at Los Angeles Angels. Red Sox are 54-32, 27-15 on the road. Angels are 42-42, 24-20 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 76 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour out to center. Nathan Eovaldi versus Shohei Ohtani. Eovaldi coming off a great start. No runs allowed, 7 innings, 6 Ks, a 51 win at home versus the Royals. 3.41 ERA, 1.20 whip on the season, just 19 walks to 90 Ks and 9-4. Ohtani coming off lasting just 2 1/3 at Yankee Stadium in what turned out to be an 11-8 win. Red Sox hit righties hard, 256, 759 OPS, just barely ahead of the Angels at 256, 755 OPS. Red Sox bullpen being very good all year, 3.48 ERA, 1.38 whip. Angels bullpen being terrible all year, and the Angels now going to be down Rendon too. He was out of the lineup Monday with a hamstring injury. I don't expect him to be in the lineup here tonight, so it'll just be Shohei is the lone big bat in the lineup, and Shohei will be pitching. So this is not an easy spot for the Angels. Let me give Loshak a line and hear him roll. We have the Red Sox opening up at -104. They're now -115. An 11-cent move towards them. And this total has gone from 9 to 8.5. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, well, this one, my numbers liked I love how I, push off the blame to my numbers. They liked the first 5 under. On the overnight, it was actually 5, and I definitely hit that one. I don't think there's any 5s anymore. In fact, the best line I've seen is like 4.5, -115. They still like that one a little bit. The first 5 under is definitely a lean. Maybe I'll give it as an official pick at 4.5, -115. Obviously, like it way, way, way more at 5 at just -115 or whatever. First 5 under is definitely a lean. Again, my numbers expect strong starts from Ohtani and from Eovaldi. Numbers a little bit higher on Ohtani actually, but with his bat out of the lineup, that's a big negative. So first 5 under, and the full game under lean as well, but the first 5 under is a stronger lean.
66% of the ticket, 60% of the cash on the Red Sox, 53% of the ticket, 68% of the cash on the over. I think this is the spot for the Red Sox. Should my concern be Ohtani after just 2/3 of an inning, getting embarrassed a bit, coming back and being spectacular?
My numbers say don't worry about it, but those are just numbers. You know what I mean?
Chris Smith says Boston money line easy. DC says overs 4-0 in Ohtani's last 4 starts following an outing of less than 4 innings in his last appearance. I'm with CT Base. Red Sox at this price looking good. I have a huge bullpen advantage. Eovaldi's been very good of late. This is a much easier Angels lineup to go against. I understand why the market move is moving towards the Red Sox, and I think I should join in.
Puzzler says Ohtani's scheduled to bat second as DH. Is that true? Is that confirmed?
They won't confirm lineups here for, this game's still 9.5 hours away.
Okay. Nasty Nate says Boston smash. Yeah. A lot of people like the Sox here.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. Red Sox money line. I'm gonna stay away from that first 5 with the fear here. Oh, we've lost Lodels. I'm sure he will be back here shortly. In his war fatigues, they probably just shut down they're very nervous. Oh, there he is. He's back in action. Oh, no, we lost him. Oh, there he is. Back in action.
It's war. Didn't even phase me for a second. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So there is my second edition of the card. So this will be my 4th bet on the card. Red Sox money line. I am in. We move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. And so I screwed up Merrill Kelly's last start. I went on the first 5 under, and Cueto got touched. And Merrill Kelly got touched a little bit early, but he still went 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 homers, 3 earned runs, 0 walks, 7 Ks, 5-3 win at home versus the Giants. I think that Merrill Kelly is going to be stronger as the season goes on, and we're going to get a nice price backing him because of his poor start to the year. And I need to figure it out right. going up against John Gray, and I did not make a move on this. I wanted to talk it out with you guys. Rockies 37-48, but just 6-31 on the road at the Diamondbacks. 23-63, 13-27 at home. We're at Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona. Roof will be closed. The Gray Wolf on the bump, 5-6, 3.89 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 74 innings, 65 Ks, 31 walks, 9 home runs. In his last start, it was a nice start at home versus the Pirates. We backed him. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 6-2 win at home. Going up against Merrill Kelly, both teams are terrible versus righties. Rockies 235, 684 OPS. Diamondbacks 227, 657 OPS. Both teams have terrible bullpens. And let me give a market for Pete to work with here. The Diamondbacks open up at -119. They're now -128 at Pinnacle, so a 9-cent move towards them. And this total has not moved over 8.5 at -116, juice to the over. Take it away, Pete. Do you see an angle here?
No, I've been laughing at the comments. Yeah, my numbers again, like the first 5 under. My gut makes me nervous. Makes me very nervous. But my numbers, the numbers like Gray and Kelly here. They're both. They both of them could could implode back to mediocrity without warning. We know that. But my numbers, like them. So a lean to the first 5 under at 4.5. No bet yet for me, but that's what I'm thinking.
Against Gray, they're hitting 286 with a 763 OPS. Against Merrill Kelly, and this is what's kept me off at 338 with a 989 OPS. So I would love to see the breakdown of what percentage of those hits, were in Colorado in the thin air. Trevor Story 6 for 14 with 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers. All extra base hits against them. And that may be enough to keep me off of it. Let's see where the cash is in this game. Pull this up right now. We have 43% of the tickets on Arizona, 42% of the cash, 71% of the tickets on the over, but just 28% of the cash on the over. God, I wonder if that under is in play. So what was your lean? Was first half? Pete?
Yeah, first 5 under, but the confidence number with that is low. So yeah, but that's what the numbers say. But I don't like it. I'm not going to bet it.
And that humidor will be in play here in Arizona. God, I wonder. Mr. Gokes are leaning to Kelly. Elliot V says they're both going to lose. Hard to back Kelly here. I kind of like my card as it stands right now. Don't want to be leaving money on the table. I wonder if your first 5 – these offenses are so weak. Robert Cherry on Kelly over 5.5 strikeouts at +105. So I guess I'll just leave it as a lean to the first 5 under 4.5 and not move on it. Okay, we move on to the next spot on the board. 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Pete, St. Louis Cardinals 42-44, 19-26 on the road at the San Francisco Giants. 53-31, 26-12 at home. We're at Oracle Park, San Francisco, California. 58 Fahrenheit, clear, 14 miles per hour. Out to left center. Adam Wainwright going up against Johnny Cueto. Adam Wainwright on the road is somebody I want to fade. He went into Colorado, where he's always had good numbers, and he had a good start. And I pushed my bet there. 8 innings he went. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 5-2 loss at Colorado. As soon as they got him out, they allowed a 3-run shot to lose the game. Cueto coming off a bad performance at Arizona. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-3 loss. He's got a 4 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. The Cardinals don't hit righties, 228, 668 OPS. The Giants have been good against righties this year, but are dealing with some injuries right now, especially the Brandon Belt injury hurting them. 244, 766 OPS. The Giants' bullpen has been so good of late. 3.27 ERA, 1.10 WHIP converted 30-46. Cardinals' bullpen, 4.26 ERA, 1.41 WHIP has not been good. Pete, this is the situation we find ourselves in. The total was slightly juiced to the first 5 total was slightly juiced to the under 4. It's now about to be 4.5. In fact, Heritage and New Wager have moved it to 4.5. So money coming in on that first 5 over. A full game situation, we have the total's gone from 7.5 to 8, but Pinnacle and Heritage already moved it to 8.5. Cueto's gone from -125 to -131 full game. Pete, what do you think here?
some funny comments that I wanted to address. Maybe I'll get to them later. This one, very low confidence numbers all around. My numbers actually have a slight lean to San Francisco. It's, they indicate that it's probably a decent start for Cueto. Wainwright, obviously very solid. He can get hit, though. Wouldn't be surprising if my numbers indicate that, that this might be one of those stars where he's a little bit below his average. My numbers like San Francisco a little bit here. I didn't bet it yet, but I guess it's a lean.
Against Wainwright, they're hitting just 254 with a 650 OPS. He's been very good against them. Against Cueto, 254, but an 820 OPS. So they're 36 for 142. He's got a long history against these guys. 8 home runs allowed. So Arenado has 2 homers against them. Carpenter 1, Goldschmidt 2, Molina 2, Bader 1. Very interesting. And Elliot V says, are you betting on Baltimore today? I love the first 5 over. They hit lefties well. We talked about that. I wonder, we'll go back to that. It's because we're almost done this MLB card. We'll go back to that just before we get into NBA.
Lines are out. Lines are out for that game.
Beautiful, beautiful. Matty Ice says 20 mile per hour winds. Is that what you guys are seeing? I had 14 mile per hour winds, but let me check a different site here very quickly. Pete, any last thoughts on this spot?
No, not really. Not really. Slight lean to San Francisco. I guess that will count as a lean, but no, it's not a bet. Just a lean.
And the wind here, from a second look at RotoWire, we have 14 miles per hour. Both the spots that I look at, 14 miles per hour. All right, and then let's see where. Oh wait, done this already, right? I've seen where the catch is. We have 70% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the Giants. And then 60% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the over, and it's gone towards the over. Okay, Pete, let's move on to a spot I came so close to betting, and that's New York Yankees on the -1 line. I came very, very close to betting. 2 weeks ago on your first show here, you said that the Yankees offense you expected to start hitting, and I've seen them hit. And I wonder if this is a spot at Seattle against Justice Sheffield, who's been so bad this year. 5.88 ERA, 1.71 WHIP, coming off a 4-inning start at the Blue Jays, allowing 4 earned runs and 7 hits. And they hit 243, 729 OPS versus lefties. I wonder if this is a spot to back Jameson Taillon and the Yankees. And I did in his last start, and it was an 11-5 win at home over the Angels, but he did not look very good. 5 1/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. I don't know if getting out on the road is going to help him. He's not looked good all year long. The Yankees opened up at -140. They're now at -158, an 18-cent move towards them. The under was juiced to -117 at 9.5. Is now at -110, so a slight move back to the over. Pete, is this a spot where you want to back the Yankees?
Kind of. I've been auto fading Sheffield on basically opposing teams' team total overs for a while now, and having a lot of success with it. And once again, my numbers like that at 2.5, -145. I'm seeing on the first 5 innings, and yeah, my numbers actually do like the Yankees a little bit, even at this line. But I want to look into it a little bit more. Taillon is going to need to be okay and serviceable before I would pull the trigger on that. So I will, if I can find some time, here at the Dunkin' Donuts in Yemen, I'll try to look a little bit more into some deep peripherals on Taillon to see if I want to back him as a big favorite. But I definitely bet the Yankees first 5 team total over at 2.5, -145.
Yeah, that's a smart spot. I can see why you backed it. 52% of the tickets on the Yankees, but 71% of cash. That's with 2,723 tickets in. Then we have 66% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the over. Let's just take a quick look at the baseball data here and decide if we should pull the trigger. Only Crawford and Seager have seen Taillon. They're 2-4 against them. It's a double. Against Sheffield, 238 and a 619 OPS. They're 5 for 21 with 4 singles and a homer. Surprising that small sample size, but Sheffield, who was, if I'm not mistaken, a highly thought of prospect in the Yankee system when he came up.
Sorry, I'm reading comments here. But I will highlight a good comment from Poker Addicted. Sorry, it's about the San Francisco game. Cards are off on the road. Wainwright splits show a massive road drop-off. Cards surrendering runs on the road. Giants best team in baseball, still in money line range. Lean San Francisco. I agree with all that. Yeah, my numbers my numbers like San Francisco for sure. It just, again, gut makes me nervous betting against Wainwright as a favorite. But I agree with everything Poker Addicted 79 said on that comment. Just that comment, not some of his other comments, but that comment, I agree with. You know what I'm saying?
Pete, is your concern over Tyon make it difficult to back the Yankees at this price?
Sorry, does that mess things up when I read a comment from a previous game that we're not covering?
No, it's all good, my man.
My concern over Tyon?
Yeah, is that the issue here for backing Yankees full game?
I'm not backing Yankees full game. I'm only back. Oh, you mean if I would back them? Yeah.
Yeah. Is the issue Tyon and your faith in him at a big price?
Yeah, and probably if I'd like him full game because of Tyon, then I'd like him a lot more on the first five. My numbers indicate that I should stay off the Yankees at this line, but take the first 5 team total over. A lot of uncertainty with Tyon, but sometimes digging deeper into sort of the deep peripherals, you can sort of see things that point things in one direction or the other. So as of right now, Yankees first 5, I can't not. I'm sitting here, dressed like this for ratings, for laughs, and trying to give myself, to remind myself to have some balls and not be guided by fear and governed by fear. So let's go for it. Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 145. I'll take it. Official play.
First 5 team total over 2.5 and minus 145.
Yes.
All right. Bledsoe versus Yankees bullpen being shaky lately. Very, very shaky. Okay, we move on to another spot that did not have a line. It's the final spot on the card, and it still doesn't. We don't know who's going to be pitching for the Nats. Don't ask, don't tell in the house. That's my like. Oh, you're good. You're a good man. You're a good man. Don't ask, don't tell. You're a good man. Ryan Weathers in a spot against the Nats.
There you go.
It's hard.
Mr. Goatser, that's a great look, by the way, Pistol. Thanks. I think I look good. Poker Addicted 79. Sorry, Jimmy the Bag. I know I have a problem.
No problem. No. Discuss. It's a very, very exciting look you have here, and I think that anybody hangs out around you,
they would know that I'm a cool person. No matter where I am, whether I have a home, whether I don't, whether I'm in Dunkin' Donuts or not, whether I'm in Yemen or the United States, doesn't matter. That's what's great about me.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are in that Dunkin' Donuts bathroom in Yemen,
it would still be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I never have to ask where the party is, because I know the cool place to be is where I am.
Perfectly said. Perfectly put. We have no line here, so we don't need to spend too much time in this spot. But I'd be very curious to see who is on the mound for the Nationals, because I think that we might be able to squeeze out a couple runs off of Weathers. And if that's the case, maybe this first 5 over will be in play, but there's no point to hum and haw at this point. So the one thing I do want to hum and haw is now we have a line in this Jays-Orioles game. So let's jump over there very, very quickly, because I thought overs could easily be in play, Matts, Watkins, but it's opened at 11, of course. Yeah. They're not going to get messed with to that extent. Both bullpens have been so bad. Both starting, we have Spencer Watkins, who's thrown 1 inning in his illustrious career in MLB, going up against Matts, who gets hit by lefties. God, I was hoping for a 10.5. Is this 11 too high to try to get over, Pete?
I could run my numbers right now, but I don't quite where I am right now. I don't quite have the horsepower on my computer to do it. It would crash the whole thing. So I can't run an Excel spreadsheet and do this show at the same time. So let me see, and a database. So I'll just eyeball it. I'm thinking that the number's a little bit too high. My eyeballing first thoughts are that I wouldn't want to take Toronto here. My eyeballing first thoughts are that I probably would be thinking about overs even at the numbers of 6 and 11 for first half and full game. And I'll look at it a little bit more after the show, closer to first pitch.
All right, well, let's review action. A small card for me, just like the last couple shows, Thursday and Friday, both just with 4 games. Friday, I swept the board with my 4 games, so hopefully we can do that again. I'll review my action, then we'll go over Pete's action. So before the day started, I jumped on 2 first fives, -0.5, juiced. Rangers first 5, -0.5, -135. Phillies first 5, -0.5 at -120. The additions on this card is I'm going to tail TAINT, Astros first 5, -0.5, and I've added the Red Sox money line. Pete, let's go over your action first. You start your card with Braves -1.
Yep.
Braves minus.
Yep. It always makes me nervous to take a big favorite on the road at Pittsburgh, but the numbers like it. I'll take it. It's just Pittsburgh's offense is. I know what they did last night. That makes me like it even a little bit more. The numbers just hate Pittsburgh's offense right now.
You also added the under 8 full game in this Gonsolin Lopez start at Miami.
Yeah, I mean Gonsolin has some control issues. Other than that, he's okay. And I hope this is not 1-0 after 5 innings, and then in the top of the 7th, the Dodgers put up 7, and then Miami puts up 2 in the bottom of the 9th. And it goes over. How many times have we seen that this year? But numbers like the under, even at 7.5 a little bit, so it went to 8. I made it official.
Joe Lopez says, Pete, they will try.
Yeah.
They will try.
And they'll probably be successful, but that's not the point. The point is keep doing you, even if you're going to lose. All right, go ahead, Jimmy the Bag.
On that game, your next spot is a great look.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. Your Phillies first 5 team total over 2.5 at -121. I look at that and I think, how is that not a -150? I think
it might be by first pitch. We're only 12:20 here.
I really think you did a nice job there. I'm on that Phillies first 5 -0.5, and then the Dirty K prop is over 6.5 Ks with Aaron Nola. It's heavily juiced, but looks nice there. King Washishay says parlay Suns, Tampa Bay, Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Braves. LAV says the Baltimore game, Jimmy. I think that total is just too high at 11 for me to really want to attack it at this point. But we got time to look into it. Then we have the Say Hey play of the day. Jose is on the Cincinnati Reds first 5 -0.5 and -122. The Taint play of the day I'm rolling with. I'm going to add to my card Astros first 5 -8.5. I jumped on the Red Sox money line, and then the first 5 under 4.5 in Rockies Diamondbacks.
Yeah, my numbers like that. What can I say? I also gave Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5 -145. That was my 4th official pick. By the way.
Yes, you did. I was going to get to that because that's a later game. But here, I wonder if I should move on this first 5. Let me just look at this one more time, and then we're going to move on to NBA with our man Walter Trotter. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. First 5 under 4.5 in this Rockies Arizona start.
Yeah, Ron Crawford says San Francisco spreadsheet play of the day -132. Yeah, so we must be all looking at the same numbers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. My numbers like San Francisco as well at these lines. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure if I'm going to move on that John Gray, Merrill Kelly spot. Probably not. Matty Ice says Rockies hit Kelly hard. All Rockies bats hit Kelly. They do. But I wonder if the thin air had something to do with those stats. But you're right. That's probably enough to keep me off. So I've got 4 spots. Loshak has 4 spots. And we have both Taint, Jose Say, and the Dirty K prop in. That is MLB. We're sitting plus 15.99 units on the season. Let's see if we can keep that going. There you go. Pete, we move on to the hardwood. We move from a Dunkin' Donuts bathroom in Yemen to Long Beach, California, with our man Wham Bam in the house. Please welcome to the show, Trot Wam. How are you, Wham?
I'm all right, fellas. I'm all right. Everything's good. How do I sound? Everything's all right?
Yeah, you sound good, man.
Hey, what's up, Trot Wam? I just once again, I'm doing the show for Dunkin' Donuts in Yemen, so I just missed your when you just came in. If you said anything to me and I didn't respond, it was because my internet was out for a couple of seconds. What's up,
It's
Trot
totally
Wam?
fine. It's totally
All right,
fine.
good.
I'm at Ski's house right now. Kind of picked up some of his clothes as well, and this is his internet, so it's maybe his problem, bro. Maybe his problem.
No. It was my problem. It was my problem. We knew that.
Shout out to everybody in the chat as well, man. It's a blessing to be here with you guys.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Milwaukee, Phoenix. Who would have thunk it? Neither team has been this deep in the playoffs in 28 years. Milwaukee not being in the finals since 1974. Suns returning for the first time since 1993. The Suns are the first team to make the NBA Finals after missing the playoffs in each of the previous 10 seasons. Jay Crowder, the only player on either team with NBA Finals experience. He lost last year with the Heat. Okay, injuries are a very big part of this contest. Lots of things to dissect and break down. But let's start with the market and the cash, and then we'll have our man, Trot Wam, take it away. Here we go. We have Phoenix opening up at -5.5. There is sixes mostly across the board. Heritage does have a 6.5. The first half I've been looking very closely at, and it has gone from -3 to a few books showing a 3.5 now, Pinnacle being one of them, which means that the market will probably follow suit. Then with the money, we have 13,000. Oh, it just changed. 13,353 tickets in. On the spread, 58% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the Suns. On the money line, 68% of the tickets, 87% of the cash on the Suns. And on the total, which I did not talk about here. Let's move over to the full game total. The total, which opened up at 217.5 and it shot up to 219.5. We have 65% of the tickets on the over and 52% of the cash. Wham bam. Let's lay down some sod. What do you think here? Suns, Brewers, what are your first thoughts?
I'm glad you brought up Jay Crowder because I think me and you spoke earlier this season. I thought the Heat had the easiest road to the finals last year. I think it was the same situation for this new Jay Crowder's team and in the Suns. I believe that they had an easier road here as far as any rim protection that they've seen. They haven't seen any. Only that game where Anthony Davis was dominant and obviously he went down. So they lost the game where there were a team, their opponents had rim protection, because the next after that there was Denver, which didn't have any rim protection. The next team after that was the team in the Clippers without one of their best defenders and also without rim protection. We can't really count on Zubac to hold it down low. So this is another team here without Giannis. I don't think they have that rim protection they need in order to get them over the hump. Now, my money is not going to go on the Suns today, even though I have this nice orange hoodie on. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with the Suns. It's a WNBA hoodie. I'm just thinking that the Suns are to play here for the long term. There may be possibilities that Pete may be able to get a hedge here. You know what I mean? And come out. I think you may be live here, Pete, as far as Milwaukee, for sure. Because if Giannis comes back, this is a whole new other series. We did get information that he possibly is done and cooked for the damn season, and it does seem like Coach Bud has a terrible poker face when they ask about Giannis. He just doesn't seem as confident in the progressing that he's saying that Giannis is doing. You know what I mean? But in me, I think the whole key is going to be in the paint. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks had an easy road in the paint. They averaged about 50 points in the paint over the last 3 games against that series with the Hawks. I don't think they're going to be able to do that as well in this series. They also had 19 points average in second chance points. Second chance points. Yeah, Ski, I'm at your crib, bro. And shout out to Zoe's way. I picked up some laundry. I seen your hoodie on the ground. And yeah, appreciate you, bro. But 19 points in second chance points for the Bucks in the last series. Now, Phoenix, they only allowed 6 second chance points in the last series. You know what I mean? So that's going to be something totally different that they're going to see. We're not going to see the same team that we've seen in the last series for the Bucks, in my opinion. Along with the Phoenix, they only allowed the Clippers to score about 41 points in the paint. And we've seen them go in the hole. They're shooting a lot of threes. We know that the right now that the Milwaukee Bucks, they are on a shooting slump. I mean, they came out last time and won, but before that, they're shooting 28% from 3 against the Hawks. if that continues to happen in this series, it might be curtains, man. You know what I mean? Maybe Suns in 4, like that guy that beat up those Nuggets fans. You know what I mean? It could end up like that. But I believe that this play for the day, the best play, in my opinion, it got to be the under. I know all the money is going all up on the over. You said about 52%, which kind of gives me a little bit more confidence that the under may be really the play. Even though this line's moving up, I'm going to sit back and wait. I think we could possibly get to the 220, 221 range, maybe even. And I'm sliding on that under, man. I think the under is the play here. I just think that these guys are going to stop and eliminate these guys from getting to the rim. And even though the last 2 meetings, and honestly the last 4 meetings within these teams, the total went over. And this series, this season, it's a combined of 250 points, if I'm not mistaken. I still think that the under is the play here, man. I just think that the styles will clash, and Ayton should have a good series, and along with Chris Paul, possibly MVP. But if I was to we could talk about the props there later on, but that's how I'm looking here. I'm thinking under. I think Phoenix possibly win here in 5 or 6, and that's the way I'm looking. I'm keeping an eye on, Coach Bud's answering these Giannis questions as well.
Very, very interesting breakdown, Wham. A lot of support for your under in the chat. Turnsy on the under. Dennis Garcia says, I like the under early. Only one player has ever played in the final before. Could see some tight play. Kevin Riley says Phoenix -6 is a casher. Robert Allen says, when or if Giannis comes back, the Bucks will be unbeatable. They're already a great team without him right now. That Holiday woke up. If the Bucks play like they did in Game 5 or 6, they'll be fine. Mills on the Bucks team total over first half. I was telling you guys how excited I was to bet overs with Giannis out of the lineup. We tracked it all season long. We knew that their pace was much faster without Giannis in the lineup. The issue here is that Chris Paul is going to dictate the pace now that we've hit the NBA Finals, and that's the reason why I wasn't going to be immediately on the over. And if I was on the over, I would, with the Suns being this big of a favorite, I would take the Bucks team total over. Let's hear what Loshak has to say. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Phoenix Suns Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'll break down pace and all that here in a second.
Jimmy the Bag, that my handicapping is okay, but I'm best in the business at not wasting people's time, right? So I won't give any opinions on this game. Whatever they are, they're wrong. No, I mean, look, is Giannis definitely out? He's out, right?
Yeah,
he's
good.
I expect him to be out.
So my sense is that they'll be like, all right, we're not going to put Giannis in and try to lose by only 5. Let's just, give away game 1, hope we can get as healthy as possible and steal the series some other way. So, based on that extremely, amateurish analysis, I would say I'm probably leaning Phoenix. But, let's move on to someone else. Someone else talk about this game.
I think that the Suns will slowly break down the Bucks. So when I hear, like when Trusty says, I know it's a lot of juice, but thoughts on Suns race to 10 to -150. I like the Bucks early, and I actually am interested in the Bucks first half, and I'm waiting for the Suns to keep that, to go to +3.5, because I think that it will be a methodic breakdown of the Bucks, not a very quick one. And I love what's happened to him. I mean, Chris Middleton's and Drew Holiday taking the onus here. Holiday, 27 points, 9 assists, 9 boards, 4 steals. And I loved seeing Giannis on the bench losing his shit. I mean, we watched Kawhi Leonard now I know it's not in Kawhi's nature, but LeBron, Kawhi, we watch these stars when they're injured. LeBron's not always there on the bench when he's injured. Giannis was their biggest cheerleader. And the stuff Holiday said about him, how we have his back. Giannis is one of a kind guy. We obviously see all his basketball talent, but as a human being, he's one of a kind. One of the biggest things we did the last 2 games was play for him, have his back, and hold the fort while he was out with an injury. And Holiday said it shows we are a true team. I really think that they're playing with the house's money. Nobody's going to expect them to win without Giannis. They're not going to have any pressure coming in without Giannis. And the Suns better beat this team without the Greek Freak, and that puts the pressure on the Suns. I don't think it's a big too much pressure for them to handle. I think Chris Paul can handle that all very well. But I'm leaning towards Bucks first half. I want to hear some more breakdowns here from our guy Wham Bam. But quickly on pace, the regular season they played 102.85. The Bucks 102.85 possessions a game. They've gone way down in the playoffs, down to 97.57 possessions a game. And the Suns regular season at 98, they've gone down to 95.63 possessions a game. Because of the amount of possessions, you have to play at a pretty high efficiency to get into the 220s. And are these teams capable of playing at that high of an efficiency? I don't know. I don't have that answer at this point. Wham, you said you were going to talk about player props a little bit, but at this point, have you made anything side? And you're very close to moving on the under. Are you going to wait for that total to keep creeping up, or are you going to pull the trigger soon?
I'm gonna wait until it gets to like 220, 221. That's kind of where my approach is. That's the number that I'm trying to get. But as far as any sides, I'm kind of with both of you guys, honestly. I feel like this could easily be a Suns smash spot. When they win, they covered normally. But I think the rust factor is something that we have to add into the handicapping. Like you said, as far as Chris Paul slowing down the pace, I would agree with you though, Jimmy, as well with the Bucks early. Race the first 10 is something I looked at before I hopped on here. Seeing it at plus 120 for the Bucks to get the first 10 points just based off of rust factor, and those guys just coming off, thinking that they could shoot, lights out again. My whole ideology here regarding the under is based off of these guys just holding opponents to a short 3-point percentage, which the Suns did in the last series. I believe they held the Clippers to 27% 3-point percentage over the last 3 games that they played with them. That's a really good 3-point shooting team. You got any small piece of what the Milwaukee was showing us in their last series, they could possibly have trouble shooting those threes. And without Giannis, without scoring in the paint, it's the reason why I like the under, because a lot of those things correlate. Rather than me taking a side in the first game, because we know there are going to be adjustments, I just think that it's possibly best to just take the under there. So I'm going to wait for that. But regarding player props, I haven't made any official plays on the player props as well, but I am looking at Chris Paul double-double. Should have a lot of the ball here. It's at plus 120. I was going to take the plus 9.5 assists, but I think he can get 10 points. You know what I mean? As far as what he's shown over his last 3 games, he was getting about almost 19 to 20 attempts a game. So I think he should be able to get to 10 points. So possibly the double-double may be a little bit, maybe something I'll look into there, looking to add there. But other than that, that's kind of the way I'm approaching this game. I want to sit back and enjoy it. You know what I mean? I don't want to slid aside early on in this finals. I think it's going to be a great finals if we could get some consistency from the Bucks shooting the ball. And early on, I don't think it's going to happen.
Great to see Jesse Dykstra in the house. Jesse, what up? Oh, by the way, there was a question about Cameron Johnson. He's good to go. It was a non-COVID related sickness. He was good to go pretty quickly. The Rusty Coots play today is the Bucks first quarter plus 2, which I like. I don't want to double up first quarter, first half. In the player prop market, would love to hear from the chat what they're thinking here. We got Drew at 22.5, Portis at 16.5, PJ Tucker at 4.5. 4.5. Ayton at 16.5. By the way, Ayton 16.5 points, heavily juiced to the under. Heavily juiced to the under here. Booker at 28.5. Chris Paul at 20.5, juiced to the under. And then any feeling on the 3-point spots or points, rebounds, and assists?
I'm looking at the rebounds. The rebounds for PJ Tucker. Seeing them at 5.5, minus 130. I'm willing to pay the juice there. I think he's shown us that he's the guy that's going to go down there and get those boards without Giannis in the lineup. So that's somebody that I'm looking at. Along with the 3-point props, I was thinking, it's funny here, but I was thinking about doing a 3-point prop parlay. And this is something I don't necessarily, recommend someone to tell me on, but I'm looking at the Cameron Payne over a half 3 points and Brook Lopez parlaying those two, which are both minus 230, minus 250. You get plus money if you combine those two. I think both of those guys have a good chance at least hitting 1-3, especially Brook Lopez, first time in the finals. I think he's going to knock it down 3 here. So that's kind of the way I was looking at those two guys, and especially Cameron Payne is somebody I'm going to be really keeping an eye out on. And he could really blow this series up out the water for the Suns.
Minus 240 for the over a half 3 for Lopez. Minus 225 for one with campaign. Clearly, the book's afraid to put the 1.5 on the board, which is which is interesting here. And then here we go, my man Mally Mal asking about Cam Johnson threes. If you want Cam Johnson to hit 2 threes, that's plus 140.
That's nice.
So you're getting a nice. Turnsy says, "What is Bobby Portis's points at?" Let's get over there very quickly here.
I see Bobby Portis at points, rebounds, and assists at 26.5. His points is 16.5, which I believe is a big under, bro. I think that's an under in my opinion.
Well, I'm going to move on the Bucks early, but I don't know. At this point, I don't feel like I have a lean towards the first quarter is better than first half. I think I just want the more points. I'm leaning towards the Bucks plus 3.5 first half. I think if you're betting the Suns, if you can wait till live, you'll get a better spot at some point here. Piker says Brook Lopez props are the way to go. He'll continue to fill in the void on Giannis and exceed his averages. All right, there we go. So we have not yet official because it's still going up, but Wham Bam wanting to move on the under in the NBA Finals. Is there anything else you want to make official here, Wham?
Not just yet because I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So I'll just tweet out the action at the link here and make sure everyone's be able to follow me on Twitter, Trot Wam, Walter Trotter on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Trot Wam on Twitter, I'm sorry. but yeah, I'll have everything out as soon as I make that official. But I honestly, I could make the official play here, but it's going to be juiced at 220. So I'm just going to wait until the juice, kind of clips up to me.
Very interesting NBA Finals Game 1. Eli Nahara says Suns could come out blazing. Jimmy, the momentum will be there. Look, the way I see it is that it'll be a methodical breakdown of the Bucks. And look, I'm not saying I'm sitting here with a script in my hand, but I think the Bucks have nothing to lose and no pressure on them Game 1. And the Suns have some pressure. And so I think it'll be a meticulous breakdown led by Chris Paul that will come more into effect in the third and the fourth quarter. So I will be moving on the Bucks either first quarter or first half. I just have yet to decide what to do. Wham Bam, can you tell us a little bit about Who Bangin' Sports Talk and where to catch your Wednesday and Friday shows?
Yes, Who Bangin' Sports Talk YouTube channel every Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I do a show, Wham Talk Wednesdays. This week, we're obviously going to have a little more baseball breakdowns. We're going to get a recap of what's going on today. No Razor Sharp, this is not a Suns hoodie. It was something I found on the floor over here, and I just thought to pick it up, bro. And as far as the we have a Friday show that definitely like a lot of people, just more interaction there. Just anytime you have a chance, Friday at 9 p.m., holla at us, Who Bangin' Sports Talk, the lounge. Always fun there. Drinks, beers, and winners.
I like it. Kev Riley said Suns have no pressure. I'm on the other side of that. I think all the pressure is on the Suns. What an incredible opportunity to win your first NBA championship. You're playing against a team without their best player. How could you not lose?
Yeah.
How could you not lose? How could you not lose? How could you not succeed? I think that's sort of the idea around the Suns. So I think there's pressure on the Suns. Pete, do you have any feel for just the pressure that I'm talking about? Because I see here, I think the pressure's all on the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the expectations are that way. I mean, when the other team's star player is out, obviously, yeah, it's like, all right, if we can't even do this, then we're in deep trouble. So yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I mean, even yet, I know it's the finals, and that's not real pressure. Real pressure is when you're a single parent and you have 3 kids and this and that. But still, these professional athletes, yes, there's no question that even though it's the finals and even though if the Bucks lose, they still had a great season and all that. No question that the pressure's on the Suns here, and that as you or someone else said, that the Bucks are pressure-free in this situation. And I think that might, that's why, it might be a competitive game for a while, but that Phoenix might run away with it late and easily cover a 6.
Yeah. No, I could see that happening as well. I could see that happening as well. All right, there you have it. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Nothing official yet from Wham, but follow him on Twitter at Trot Wam, and we'll be moving on the under, and we'll have some player props. I expect to move on the first half, Bucks first half, but I agree with the Rusty Kuntz play today that the first quarter might be easier. Pete, do you have any feeling on that? First quarter +2, first half at +3.5. If you were given a free play on either, you either had to take the Bucks +2 first quarter or the Bucks +3.5 first half. What would it be?
If I really given a free play, I do a lot more research. It's rust in playoff series is always an issue, especially in the NHL. I'm sure you're familiar with this, Jimmy the Bag. A lot of times these NHL teams that have played like 2 days ago come out with a big advantage against a clearly better team that's been off for 6 days or something like that. I guess. I don't know. If you gave me a free play, I'd probably still take the Suns. I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like psychologically that Milwaukee is hoping Giannis can come back and might give this game away.
Jacksonville
obviously subconsciously. I'm not saying
No,
not that they're not going to try. Of course, I'm just saying at the first when adversity comes, they're like, all right. We're not going to win this one. Let's just, wait for the rest of the series to try to win it.
I feel you. And Mally Mouse says Suns haven't covered 2 home games in a row. Jacksonville Zoe says, Pete, your internet has been terrific today in Yemen.
For the most part. Yes, it has. Absolutely.
There you have it. We have big shows all day here on the channel. Coming up in 15 minutes, we have Babano and CMAC breaking down MLB at 4 p.m. Eastern. We have the Pub Hub NBA Playoff Edition starring Ski Prophet, Dutch Boy Fresh, Babano, and CMAC. And then we have Razor Sharp Picks Horse Racing Show tomorrow night, which was supposed to be the debut of my mom on the show. But now Game 5, Habs Lightning. She's not sure, man. She might just be right over there watching the big hockey game. We might have to move that to Thursday night. But big thank you to our man, Wham Bam. Follow him on Twitter, and big thank you to the legend Loshak in the house. Pete, any last words before we let us out of here?
Not really. I might look into this game. It's a very intriguing game now. I just didn't do any deep research into it, but I feel like there might be some not low-hanging fruit, but some clear value. I mean, it's interesting. The total is I think CP slows down the pace and. But without Giannis, maybe it does increase, like you guys have talked about. I might do some deep research and tweet out a pick. In fact, I will promise that, Jimmy the Bag, and I'll tweet it at the two of you, Trot Wam and Jimmy the Bag. I will tweet out a pick to you, an official play that'll go on my record on this game. It might come 5 minutes before tip, but when I say I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to do it. And it might lose, and it might be a terrible play, but I'm going to tweet it out. Shout out to both of you.
I love that, bro. Pete. I absolutely love that. By the way, questions about why the Montreal Canadiens are called Habs. It's because their nickname Habs stands for Les Habitants.
Got it.
Habitants. And, I just always known that they were the Habs, but I just typed it in to get an actual answer. The Les Habitants, the early farmers of Quebec. The early farmers of Quebec, I didn't know that, but stands for Les Habitants. And big show tomorrow with our man, Mr. Gokster. And you can catch us every Tuesday right here, Loshak in the bag. He's got a lot of work to do at this Dunkin' Donuts in Yemen, so he's going to be busy, but not so busy that he can't tweet us out a pick in NBA. Great stuff. Wham Bam, can you please let us into the future?
Yes. This is Pub Sports Radio, the only YouTube channel that you're going to get legendary content like this. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. It is time to milk these motherfuckers. Leche Elos bookmakers.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.